In Landman Season 2, Tommy choosing to trust Cooper's plan while outright refusing Cami's is one of those decisions that feels frustrating on the surface, but makes complete sense once you understand how Tommy views the world. This isn't a matter of intelligence, experience, or even logic in the traditional sense. It's about how Tommy defines reality. And his version of reality is brutal, unstable, and unforgiving. Cami's plan represents order. It's cautious, structured, and built on the assumption that people will act rationally if the incentives are right. Her approach is about minimizing damage, protecting relationships, and maintaining long-term stability. From the outside, that looks like the responsible choice. But to Tommy, that kind of thinking is dangerous because it relies on systems working as intended. Tommy's entire career has taught him that systems fail the moment fear, money, or power enter the equation. He doesn't believe people follow rules when pressure is applied. He believes they protect themselves. That's why Cooper's plan resonates with him. Cooper isn't pretending the situation can be controlled neatly. His plan accepts that things will get ugly. It assumes resistance, betrayal, and fallout. Instead of trying to prevent chaos, it's built to operate inside it. To Tommy, that's not recklessness, that's realism. Cooper isn't promising safety. He's promising movement. And movement in Tommy's world is survival. There's also a critical emotional layer beneath the strategy. Tommy recognizes himself in Cooper's thinking. The urgency. The willingness to take heat. The instinct to move first and ask questions later. Cooper isn't just presenting a plan, he's showing that he's learning how the game actually works, not how it's supposed to work. That recognition creates trust faster than credentials ever could. Tommy doesn't trust theory, he trusts people who think like survivors. Cami, meanwhile, is thinking like someone who wants to protect the future. She's calculating downstream consequences. She's thinking about optics, alliances, and long-term fallout. Again, none of that is wrong. But to Tommy, it feels like hesitation disguised as wisdom. He's lived long enough to believe that hesitation is what gets people crushed. When he sees Cami's plan, he sees vulnerability. Not because it's weak, but because it assumes a level of fairness the world hasn't earned. Control is another massive reason Tommy backs Cooper. If Cooper's plan goes sideways, Tommy believes he can step in, redirect, or absorb the damage. Cooper is still inside Tommy's orbit. He can influence him, override him, or clean up after him if needed. Trusting Cami's plan would mean trusting outcomes Tommy can't fully manipulate. And Tommy hates being outside the blast radius. He prefers to stand in it because that's where he feels most capable. But the most important reason, the one Tommy would never say out loud, is legacy. By choosing Cooper's plan, Tommy is testing his son. This isn't just business. It's a rite of passage. Tommy doesn't teach with advice or reassurance. He teaches by letting people feel consequences. If Cooper can survive this, then he belongs in this world. If he can't, then no amount of protection would have saved him anyway. That's why refusing Cami's plan isn't a rejection of her intelligence or value. It's a rejection of timing. Her plan belongs to a future version of the industry, one with more structure, more accountability, and less volatility. Cooper's plan belongs to the present reality Tommy knows, ruthless, unstable, and morally compromised. And when forced to choose between hope and experience, Tommy will always side with experience. So when Tommy trusts Cooper over Cami, he isn't choosing recklessness over reason. He's choosing alignment. Cooper is thinking the way Tommy thinks, accepting the same risks, and stepping into the same moral gray areas. Whether Tommy wants to admit it or not, that tells him one thing very clearly. Cooper is becoming the kind of man this world creates. And that realization, more than any plan on paper, is why Tommy makes the choice he does.